And we're back for the semi-finals. So we have Kwang Wu on the left there, playing his Infect deck, and Gary Lau on the right with his blue-red Kill Fiend deck, I think you'd say this?
We've been calling it Blue Red Brass.
Blue-red Paris. Yeah, that sounds good.
We've seen him twice on camera already, both wins, obviously. And Wu we've seen once, I think, in round 3.
Yeah, earlier on, yeah.
Yep. So both players have shuffled up. I think they're both deciding whether to keep, or they may have already done that.
So an interesting matchup. Both quite fast decks.
Yep.
Infect is definitely the quicker deck.
So we have a Noble Hierarch, turn 1, from Wu there, and a Faithful Floating from Gary.
So he went and got
Breeding Pool.
Breeding Pool.
Taking 3 damage immediately. So he basically bolted himself, which is good for Gary.
Yeah, so this deck by Gary can pump out a lot of damage very quick.
Really quickly. We've seen it do some truly broken, busted things already.
So the team of Battle Rage
Yeah.
is doubling the power on the Kill Fiend, which is getting +2/+0 for every
Yeah,
instant or sorcery. Yeah,
it's
that's
disgusting.
insane. That's really
It's really disgusting. Now, see, that was a Faith Excluding turn 1, by the way, Matt. Ben and I incorrectly last game identified that as a team of Battle Rage for, I think, 2 or 3 turns.
right. So you were wondering why the
Yeah,
scores
we
were.
thought he should have won a lot sooner than he did.
That's fair enough, I guess.
It has been quite a long day here. So we have the turn pass back from Gary to Wu. I'm sorry again, I cannot pronounce your first name.
That's Quan.
Kwang?
Quan.
Okay, I apologize. Discard of a Bedlam Reveler, and I cannot quite see the other one. Sorry, I thought the discard already happened. I don't know why I did.
That is a mountain by the looks of things.
Okay. A Blythen Agent on turn 2 from Kwang, and that's a... Sorry, what's that land?
Inkmoth Nexus.
It's an Inkmoth. And a Kiln Fiend from Gary.
Right, so he's obviously looking to go real fast. We've got a couple of draw cards in his hand, I can see that. So he's obviously trying to set up that combo there with the Kiln Fiend. So Quan just really needs to kill that as quickly as possible.
Of course, being Infect, though, he doesn't actually have that many actual kill spells in his list, does he? At least
No,
from
he
the main
doesn't.
board.
One of the interesting plays with Infect, though, is being able to use those protection spells.
I do, however,
on his
see
opponent's
that
creatures.
there is a Dismember in the main board, and there is also a Twisted Image, actually.
Oh, a Twisted Image
Yeah,
could be.
there's a single copy main board.
Okay, so that could come into play if Gary tries to go for a massive swing.
And of course, against Gary here is also the fact that Huang actually has 4 copies of Blossoming Defense in his deck.
Interesting.
So Huang's just playing with his lands here and with his Noble Hierarch, which I keep mistaking for a land all day, and trying to figure out the correct line here. He does have a Glistener Elf in hand, and I believe that's what I can see there. What is that? I'm not sure. I thought... Oh, it is a Vines of the Vastwood.
Yeah, so that Vines of the Vastwood,
Oh, yeah, it's right there. Vines of the Vastwood giving +4/+4 on Hexproof, correct? With the kicker?
with the kicker, it doesn't give hexproof, it gives protection.
Oh, protection, okay.
That's Vines of the Vastwood.
So that would be, I believe, 5 Infect that Huang came in for there. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like our display has the ability to display poison counters.
Not at the moment, no. But yes, that would have been 5 infect if it wasn't blocked, so he's halfway to a victory there.
And given that the Kiln Fiend is still there, I doubt it was...
Yeah, absolutely. That Kiln Fin would be gone otherwise.
yes. And of course, it was a Black Agent, it can't be blocked. That's the more important part there. We both missed that, well done.
Okay, so Gary's gone and fetched, taking himself down. He can obviously afford the life there, and that is a Gitexian Probe.
That, of course, will take Gary down another 2, as he hasn't done anything for it, but it will give the Kiln Fiend +2. Now, also, you can actually see the Twisted Image is in hand, but unfortunately, Kwang has actually tapped down, so he can't use it.
Well, he does have 1 mana open, but
It's
it's colorless.
Serum Visions here for Gary. Now, 16 is asking a bit much, but if he is able to get a team of Battle Rage, this could actually do the game for him already.
Yeah, so
I don't see copies of it there, but he did get a copy, at least one, of Metamorphose.
I think earlier on in the stream we saw him swing for 14 or was it
14
12?
one
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So it's well within the
The realms of possibility.
the
for
realms
this
of
deck,
possibility
yes.
for
He
it.
also
yeah.
does. No, that I missaw that. That's mutagenic growth. I was going to say it's become immense. That's the wrong deck. So he does have that. At least the way he's shuffling, I cannot tell if it's 1 or 2 copies of Metamorphose, but both would be incredible for Gary here.
Yeah, he's used those to great effect today, chaining them together and just kicking off all his prowess.
So he does choose to get in here. Interesting. Now, the Kiln Fiend itself does not have, does not inherently have trample, does it?
No, I don't believe it does.
So it's interesting here that Gary didn't, in fact, at least try and find a lightning bolt to deal with the Glistener Elf. So we do get the Metamorphose here. The interesting thing is, no matter how many spells he uses here, if he doesn't get the Team of Battle Rage, that at the end of turn, that Kiln Fiend will die regardless.
So it was 2 Metamorphose. And
Yes, and he just drew a third. So if he gets the Team of Battle Rage here, that should be lethal. And
Oh,
it's
and
a
a
fourth Metamorphose.
Oh, that is absolutely
He is-
insane.
Come on.
Chaining off.
Nope, it's the Serum Visions.
Oh, there is still mana there though from that Metamorphose, so he could play it off. No, it's
He couldn't
sorcery. You can't play it right now.
It's a
yeah.
sorcery. But that is going to put an infect counter on the Kiln Fiend, which at end of turn should kill the Kiln Fiend. It's a 2-1, I believe, to begin with, isn't it?
I think so. Yes.
Can we have
Or
a
a
look at
1-2.
Kiln Fiend, please?
Can we have a look at Kiln Fiend?
K-I-L-N.
Kiln.
Mutagenic growth there from Kwang, and that's going to end the game. And the Kiln Fiend is in fact a 1-2, my mistake. So we have both players go into game 2 now, after Kwang was quickly able to dispatch Gary there in game 1. Looking at the sideboards here, Matt, do you have any thoughts on what people will bring in?
It's quite interesting. I'm having a look at Gary's sideboard right now. The Izzet Staticaster may be useful in just being able to kick off a couple of things. Especially being able to take out the... Actually, no, it doesn't take anything out. His deck...
The Blighted Agent's on 1-1, and so is
the Blighted Agents is a
most
1-1,
of these
yeah.
things are on 1-1. to
Yeah,
begin
so
with.
the Staticaster is quite useful.
Yeah.
The Grim Lavamancer
If you
may
expect
also
the game to go long, yeah.
can come in. Other than that, I'm not quite sure. I don't think Thing in the Ice comes in.
No.
So looking at the sideboard, we have...
Sorry, we just had the sideboards taken off us there for a moment. And our constituent going Blair at us. So I was having a brief look at the Infect sideboard here. He has a couple of copies of Dispel, a copy of Spellskite, and I believe a Dismember. I think all of those could easily come in and be useful.
Yeah, very useful.
Mm.
Finishing that thought I was having, I don't think the Thing in the Ice comes in.
No.
Gary does have access to a couple more dismembers though, which may be useful. It all depends on whether or not he wants to go for the combo kill or try to do a little bit more removal and play the bolt the threat game.
I think that, in this matchup, Gary is actually a little bit slower than Kwang, so I think he actually does want to end up being the control player.
So you think bringing in those dismembers is the right choice for him? Or?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Just looking at the way that his deck is played out over the course of the day and the way that Kwang says as well, it just seems to me that Gary does sort of want to be the more controlling player in this matchup, especially given that if he wins this game, he will be on the draw in game 3.
Yeah. So for this game, what he really wants to do then, I guess, is to use those lightning bolts and those metamorphos in almost in a defensive way,
Yes.
chaining off on his opponent's turn to try to get big blockers.
I mean, it's also possible that, he just draws an absolute wonderful hand and was just able to completely run over Kwang here. But, of course, that's the nature of both decks. Both decks have that potential. Both decks have a relatively low creature count. I think Kwang's slightly higher, given that he does have the creature land.
Yeah, I think Gary's running by memory 15 or 16 creatures.
Gary's on 12.
Gary's on 12.
I believe so. Main board.
So 4 Storm Chaser Mages, 4...
Oh, sorry, no, 16, yes.
Yeah, 16. So 4 of the Storm Chaser Mages, 4...
I keep forgetting Storm Chaser Mage.
Yeah.
Storm Chaser Mage, Kiln Fiend, Monastery Swiftspear, and
Bedlam Reveler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although I think Bedlam Reveler may only be a 3 of.
maybe? He was getting them very consistently, so I believe it may be a 4 of.
The card has been wonderful for him today, though. It has really shown off just how powerful it can be.
Yeah. Very cool to see those new cards doing a lot of work today, especially Prized Amalgam earlier on today.
Oh, yes. And, of course, from Paladin, the only thing we've seen, of course, is, I think, the lands and, of course, in Quantus, is the Blossoming Defense.
Yes. So, yeah, the Blue-Red Fastlands in Gary's deck are doing a lot of work as well today.
And we've seen the Blossoming Marsh out of the Jund player. And I believe Kwang even has the blue-green Fastland in his deck. I'm not sure.
Okay. But it's good to see that those cards are... Well, I assume that they were going to be modern playable straight away, considering the old Fastlands were.
Yeah.
But it is good to see them getting their
It is
day in
nice
the
to see
sun.
the cycle completed. Now, we're going to see a mulligan here from Gary. I don't think he had any lands, or if he did, it was only an island. Kwang, on the other hand, quite content to sit and keep his hand. Can you see much of that there, Matt?
Oh, at least a forest, or is that the Dryad Arbor?
Yes, figuring out the difference between the forest and that particular artwork of Dryad Arbor is infuriating.
Yeah.
I think Ben and I have been wrong on that almost every time today.
Well, he definitely has at least a couple of lands. Oh, so there is a forest there that doesn't have power and toughness down the bottom that I saw, I believe. Yeah,
Can
okay.
you see any infectors?
Was that a Vines of the Vastwood, or...? Okay,
can
so
see
there's
a
an
Nebel
Nebel,
Hierarch.
Nebel Hierarch on the front
Now,
there.
interestingly enough, earlier today when we saw Kwang play, Kwang actually, I believe, lost a match. Did he lose or did he win? No, he did lose, but very, very, very closely. Where he actually nearly killed his opponent, taking his opponent, in fact, to 1 life. No, in fact. Just
Yeah.
using his kitchen things.
The Kitchen Finks?
Yes.
Is there not a 3-4 in that list?
There possibly is, but that's not what he was using. He
Okay.
was using kitchen things.
He was using the Kitchen Finks?
Yes.
Okay. Because I noticed that the Kitchen Finks, well, if it was Kitchen Finks, it would have been Kitchen Finks with the Noble Hierarch, just doing
Yes, it
tons and
was.
tons of damage.
It was those plus a few backup hunt spells, and that was against Naya Burn, I believe.
Yeah.
So Gary here going down to 6 and having a look. I can see at least. Yes, I can see a basic mountain at the very least. Oh no, that's a Monastery Switchblade, not a basic mountain, but that is.
And the fetch there.
So he sort of neglects to scry there, really. I mean, there wasn't much of a point in looking when he was just going to go and grab a land straight away, and it is a steam bench, and he does get him for 1. So Gary going down to 17, Kwang to 19.
And so that absolutely was a basic forest. No power and
I
toughness
believe
there.
that's a Spire of Canaldra on there, and there's a Storm Chaser Mage, and Gary's going to get in for 2. Very, very fast start here from Gary. Kwang, of course, yet to answer, but as we know, in fact, can be just as fast.
So by the looks of things, Gary just really wants to get as much damage in as he can before that infect deck starts to find its stride.
Yeah, so it seems to me that, this is the turn where Kwang's more than likely to play an Infected, be it a Glistener Elf, or more than likely a Blighted Agent.
Mm-hmm.
As I believe I can actually see a Blighted Agent in hand. So if he does do that, there is the potential that if he doesn't have another land, he will leave his shields down. Now Gary does only have 2 cards remaining in hand, but a lightning bolt here would be very, very powerful because then you take away, of course, because then you take away Kwang's Infector.
Yeah.
Now that was a land there. I believe that one was the Dryad Arbor. I can't actually see.
No, that's a dual land.
Is that a Botanical Sanctum? What is that?
I'm not entirely sure.
No, it's very glary. It's hard to see. Oh, that's a is it a Pendelhaven? Either way, there's a Blighted Agent and a Glistener Elf here from Kwang. Very good for him. Looks like that was a Gitaxian probe off the top for Gary. Yep, indeed it was. He pays 2 life and gets 2 prowess triggers. Well, one for each creature, and draws a card. We're going to look at Kwang's hand here. I believe there's a couple of, I can't say that.
Okay, so we have a green-white fetch, an Inkmoth Nexus.
The Dismember?
Okay, no, yes, that is yeah, Dismember, not an Inkmoth Nexus.
And I cannot talk.
And 2 pump
cards.
spells by the looks of things.
Yeah, I can't tell what they are, but no, it's Become Immense and a Twisted Image.
That is a book, come immense.
So I do know what I'm talking about, apparently. So a team of Battle Rage there for Gary. Gary going to swing in. Now, interestingly here, if Kwang does not block, there is the potential for an absolute ton of damage to come through. But of course, the Become Immense from Kwang may be incentive to really not block. And we get a mutagenic growth here. Both creatures will trigger prowess. And we have the team of Battle Rage. And
Ooh.
I think that maybe he gave it +2/+2, so it's now. I'm not
So-
sure if that's
so-
lethal. I've
Well, it has at least 6 there, yeah? 5 or 6?
in fact, it was not lethal, as the term was passed back. But Kwang goes down to 2, so it was 15 damage in 1 hit.
An absolutely massive swing there.
No, I believe that is a Pendle. Is it Pendelhaven? Is that the one that gives +1/+2? I'm sorry.
Pendelhaven gives a +1/+1.
Yeah, I believe that. I
To a 1/1
believe the middle land there is in fact a Pendelhaven. It's very difficult to tell. Sorry, the glare is quite bad. Kwang here just trying to figure out whether or not he can in fact get to 10 infect in this one turn. Become Immense does make that somewhat viable. Of course, the problem is that almost if he does not fire off the Dismember, that was a distorted strike, not a twisted image. We're having a bit of a problem getting that card up for you. Good day. There it is, Distortion Strike, sorry. Sorcery, target creature gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked this turn. So, interestingly, Kwang leaving back the Glistener Elf. I'm not sure how many infect Gary's still. I think it's 3. Serum Visions, and it looks like Kwang picked that one up? I'm not sure. I thought there was a Dismember in hand. It may not have been.
May not have been.
Oh, he's only on 2 life, of course. He couldn't have played Dismember even if it was.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the Stormchaser Mage there gets Gary the victory, and we go on to Game 3. Unfortunately, we do not have the sideboards here, so we can't really talk about what each player may do for Game 3. However, it doesn't seem like either player is going to sideboard, but they're just rather shuffling up immediately for their third game. Now, Kwang here will be on the playmat, so Just roughly speaking, what do you think his chances are of victory here? Just on an estimate.
Well, he needs a good draw for it. I'm surprised to see him not really using his Vines of Vastwoods. Sort of defensively.
Mm.
Because it's such a powerful spell in that way. So it may not have been that he had the Vines of Vastwoods in hand last turn. I don't know the artwork that well.
No. And given that the way that where Kwong is situated, it's actually quite difficult. I don't know if it is for you at home, but for us here, it's actually quite difficult to see his cards. And both players shuffling up, and we'll see in a moment whether they keep their 7. Gary, of course, mulled to 6 last game, but was still able to pull it out.
So with Quan on the play, he's absolutely in a great position to steal this match.
Yeah, he is.
And
so we have
a couple of lands and spells there. That may be a keepable hand. And I think he's going to keep that.
In fact, for Gary. And again, the Noble Hierarch for Quan. Just a stock standard Infect turn 1.
Yep.
Now, I'm not entirely sure. If you played any Infect Matt, 17 by the way, Quan goes to, taking 3. Gary's going to love how much Quan keeps doing that. A Lightning Bolt on turn 1 to yourself when you're versing such an aggressive deck is just a gift for the opponent.
And
that was a Lightning Bolt off the top.
So Gary's going to take the 2 damage there from that Shockland.
I don't believe he will cast the Lightning Bolt on that Noble Hierarch, however. I believe he'll keep that for an infect creature. I would think that he'd start off with a Swiss Spear here. And get in for 1 damage, because there's no way the Noble Hierarch blocks. And that is indeed what he does.
Yeah, okay, so he gets in there.
So he takes 1 to 16. Both players going off exactly as they want to on the early turns here. Now the interesting thing is, I can see another land or 2 in Gary's hand. So if Kwong goes for the infect creature here, which will probably be a Blighted Agent, depending on how he taps for it.
So the Jitaxian Probe there. He may be going for the Inkmoth Nexus skill, which gives him the ability to use flying, which is very, very useful against Gary's deck. It's pretty much ground creatures without the Storm Chaser mage out. So.
No, interestingly, I know that Gary has the Forked Bolt that we see there in his sideboard, not his main, so he's brought that in. However, with the access to a 2nd Monastery Swift Spear and 2 Mutagenic Growths, we have access to at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 damage on board for his 2nd turn.
That's for Gary's 2nd turn.
Yes. Well, the Swiss Spears both have haste. He can cast both Mutagenic Growths without
paying for it, and then a Team of Banner.
And then the Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that is a ridiculously large amount of damage coming across there.
And that'll put Kwong right on the back step. So I think he's going to.
No, yes, of course. The bad thing is that will leave Gary with virtually nothing left to do. However,
I mean, he only has to.
He only has to survive 1 turn, and and Kwong has done nothing in terms of impact in this game so far.
So Quan plays.
And there's a Dismember. That was kind of needed. Now, yes, he takes 4 from that, but that's a lot better than the damage he was looking at taking.
Yep.
However, that does tap him down, and we can still hit him for quite a lot of damage here. So, that Jitaxian Probe makes it more.
There's going to be a lot of damage here if he decides to take that route. So he's going to fetch and go get himself probably a basic mountain.
I mean, he has to be worried here about another Dismember out of Kwong, but I'm not sure that Kwong runs the 2nd Dismember. I think he only runs the 1. And off the Inkmoth Nexus, he really can't cast anything other than a Dismember.
Yeah. So this
could just be a turn 2.
He really is representing that Dismember.
He is, but I don't think he has it. And we see the Jitaxian Probe for proof he doesn't have it. In fact, he only has a couple of Blossoming Defenses and 2 lands. So that would put the Swift Spear there from the Jitaxian Probe to 2 power. So Gary has at least 2 damage. There's not a lot here for Kwong, actually. Although I don't think Gary wants to take his time with this. I think he wants to take the advantage while he has it.
So that Swift Spear there is going to do a fair amount of damage if he decides to keep it.
And of course, the life total not important for Gary in this matchup, as we've stated before. The Forked Bolt could take care of the Noble Hierarch actually as well, which could constrain Kwang on
On mana.
but not sure that's the better option. We will see what happens here. I do think it would be wrong, however, for Gary to not fire off both Mutant Growths here.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with that.
There, in fact, is the Forked Bolt. So,
Forked Bolt.
Forked Bolt, can we bring that up, please? Forked Bolt. There's the 2 Mutant Growths. And Forked Bolt will do 2 damage. So we actually dealt 1 to Gary to Kwang as well. So, oh, that was a lot of damage. So that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, wow, he took, wow.
So straight down to 2. That's a lot of damage, and he's lost
And
his
he has a lightning
blocker.
bolt in hand. Kwang is dead on board. He has to hit, he cannot hit, he can't do it. He actually cannot get 10
No.
infect this turn. There's
No.
just no way. He does not have the mana. He does not have the creature. I believe
Becoming
Gary
Mance
Lau-
doesn't. He doesn't have enough to hit a.
Yep,
Yep, and
Gary
there's
Lau
the
goes
hand
through
shot.
the final. Wow, that was incredible. Just
Amazing
as
amount
we
of
said,
damage.
the right spells in hand, and Gary could just take the game out of nowhere, and that's exactly what he did.
So that's modern for you.
It is.
It really-
and it can just be a very silly format.
So sometimes it just comes down to who has the better hand.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's our semi-finals done, correct?
That's our semi-finals done. We're just ready for the grand final. So we'll see Gary Lau again in
Yep.
the grand final.
Sort of been with him throughout all the finals at this point.
Yeah, we have. So, well, hopefully he can take it out.
Hopefully he can. I mean, we've seen his deck quite a lot today. I think we've seen it in all but 1 or maybe 2. I think it's 2 matches. So I would really like to see this deck go all the way. It has been a delight to watch. Anyway, guys, I'm Jordan. This is Matt. And we'll be back with you shortly for the final.
See you soon.
See you soon.